So under the spreadsheets lesson, we are going to look at how we can switch from this paper-based, calculations to electronics calculations. So if you look at what electronic spreadsheet is, we can use electronic spreadsheet is a compute application like in other like Word, PowerPoint, Paint, and so on. But the tasks are organization of data. Organize, you prepare. Now you collect some data, then you are going to organize it. Maybe you put into table, right? That the first part is organization. You prepare your data. Then analysis, you perform some calculations. Once you have the data, you collect them, you perform some analysis. Now, for example, if you take weather data, we can, for example, uh, uh, collect daily rainfall, right? So I hope in science you have look at there are separate apparatus for these things. But let's say we collect the rainfall data for a month. Now, when you say analysis means maybe you can add all these rainfall together, divide by the number of dates, and you can get the average rainfall of the month. So that's you perform calculation or maybe you analysis. Now then the next one is storage, right? So electronic spreadsheet is a computer application program which you use for organization, analysis, and storage in a tabular form. Okay, when you talk about the data storage, there are many forms, right? Which we will not discuss in detail, but let's say you can, if you want, you can save data in a notepad. Simply you can type your address, you can save it as address, and later on you can take it. But remember, in electronic spreadsheet, it is always tabular form. You know that tabular form is one of the extensive use of way of storing data. And when you enter in data, we enter data in a cell of the table. Now when you draw a table, you know that you decide on number of rows and number of columns, and when the when the row meets the column, then there will be a cell, and within the cell you are going to keep track of this data. So data you have to enter in cells, right? And then once you have that, spreadsheet can provide the other things like functions. I told you about getting average value. Now for getting average value, we have a function. Then we have formulas, right? And then we can sort. Now, for example, in a class, we can sort the students' average marks or the total marks in a descending manner to find out the rankings. So this is called sorting. Or else we can have a list of names of a class, names of students. We sorted alphabetically. When you say alphabetically, meaning A, B, C, and so on, right? And then finally, we can talk about charting, right? Now, in spreadsheets, we call it a workbook. Workbook is the one you use when you open, for example, Excel. You will see it as a workbook. And in a workbook, you will have multiple worksheets. Remember that. So workbook means when you have multiple set of worksheet together, we will call workbook. Okay. So that's about the very basics. Now there are different tools available. We will use different symbols for common usage. When you say common tools, these are common for almost all the other software. Now, if you look at Excel, it will same in Word, it will same in PowerPoint, and so on, right? For example, creating a new workbook, save a document, open a save document, print preview, print. All these symbols, if you carefully look at the other algorithms or other software, you will see you will have all these common tools. Right. Can somebody tell me what do you mean by print preview is? Dhananji?
Sir, I think if we print something, the way that we can get that printed, not
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Good. Now, one of the issues is once you print, if you made a mistake, you will get by the printout and then you are too late. So before you print, usually we can make use of print preview to see how the document look like and whether it's okay. So in the print preview, you can see the number of pages and how they are going to print in a particular sheet and so on. Yes, good. Others, I guess you already know, so I'm not going to go into detail. So you will see these. Once I finish this part, I will go back again in the Excel and then I will show you all these tools again. So these are common tools. Another set of tools, right? What do you mean by undo? Let me. Senhiru, what do you mean by undo?
To cancel perform.
Yes, cancel a performed action. So cancel something, you type something, and then you want to just cancel it, you go back. You bold some text, and if you want to remove the bold, you can undo, right? So redo, Dhananji.
if we delete something mistakenly, we can get that again.
Yeah, let's say you undo something. I told you about the bolding a font, bolding a text. Let's say you undone it. Then if you want to redone it, you can use redo, right? Copy. I hope you already know what a copy is. Usually in a word, you can copy a word, you can copy a line, you can copy a paragraph, you can copy entire document, right? So I hope you already know this. So let's quickly ask, like, can you tell me how you are going to copy the whole document? Sorry, I got a call. Now, can you tell me, yeah, how do you copy whole document? Any ideas? Dhananji, How do you copy whole document? Let me send here. Let me show you, like, let me share my screen. Okay, so this is my whole screen. So let me open a document. Let me open Word document. Right. So I have a document. So this document, I have about like 110 pages, 109 pages to be exact. So how can I copy the entire document? Right. Let me show you the pages. Otherwise, you might think, yeah, this is my whole note. Yes, 109 pages. Let's say I want to copy the whole document. What is the step? Yes. Penil? Let me. Okay. So one way is you go to select, and then you can go to select all. To select whole document, you see that this document, and then you can say copy. Okay. So that's one way to do this. So you see that whole document is selected. Or else you press Control and A together. You press Control and A, it will select whole document. Then you press copy, it will copy the entire document. Okay. So that's about the whole document. Now, how do you copy entire paragraph? Let's take a paragraph. Let me check a paragraph somewhere. Okay. I have small paragraphs. Yes, I will look at this one. I want to select whole paragraph. What is the method to select whole paragraph? Hello guys, can you hear me? Nobody is answering, so either
Yes,
you
sir.
do. Okay, you can hear it. Right, how do you select the whole paragraph? Right.
Drag the cursor.
Okay, one way is starting from here, and you can drag till the end of the paragraph. Yes, that's one way to do this. Or else the shortest way is you triple click. Triple click means you click 3 times. Right? You click 3 times and then you can copy. Right, then selecting a line, if you have only single line, also you can triple click, or you can go to the left hand side of this, and then when you click it, it will select, right, one line. It will always select one line. So that's how you select a single line. Okay, how do you select a word? Let's say web pages. I want to select a word. Yes, you can double click it. When you double click, you will see it will select one word. So remember those, otherwise you can click and drag, but it will take more time. But if you want to like perform the task quickly, right? So maybe you need to remember these shortcuts. Okay, anyway, now we will go back again to the note. So we were discussing copy. So you can copy letters, images, whatever, using copy symbols. So this is what I have used. And then what is cut then? What is the difference between copy and cut? Now, if selection we have done, once we select, how can I decide whether to use copy or cut? What is the difference?
When we use cut, it removes the word from there and we can paste it somewhere else.
Okay, good, Sanheru. Now, copy means without affecting existing word or image, you can copy. So that will be there. But when you say cut, it will remove it from that place, right? You remove that place. Okay. So now pasting. Netmi, what do you mean by paste?
Copied or cut item.
Yes, you can paste, meaning you can get back a copy or cut item. Good. How many times you can get? Is it one time, two times, as many times you want? How many times you can paste once you cut and copy? Seniru? Okay, once you copy or cut some item, let's say a image, how many times you can paste it? Is it a one time or two times or as many times you want?
As many times you want.
Yes, exactly. So remember, once you copy and cut, you can paste any number of times you want. And the next one is we call spelling. So when you want to check the accuracy, spellings, grammar, then you can select ABC. Now, for example, in my previous one, if I go back and if I go to review, it's not, is it review or view? I'm looking for, should be in review. Can you see where the, this is language. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, that's the editor, spellings and grammar. There should be spelling. Okay, so this is how it will get. I think this is because of the new version of this. If you have the older version of Windows, you should see ABC. I'm trying to find ABC and I'm unable to find it. But usually that we have used earlier. Let me check whether I have another Windows version. Unfortunately not. But if you look at, let me show you in the web browser. Um, so I'm going to show you an image where usually they say it should be in options, file and options, and click proofing. File, let me say file. We don't have options here. So usually you should be getting something similar to this. Let me open this. You should be getting something similar to this. In the Word, when you go to review tab, the very first one you should see is spelling and grammar. right? So when you click spelling and grammar, usually it will highlight any errors that you have made in the document with the suggestions, right? So you can decide whether to change with one of these suggestions, and then or else if let's assume that this is correct, then you can say ignore, right? So this is how we will perform spelling check, right? So if you type something, if there's a red color line like this, so this indicates that there's an error here, right? So I told you it's a review. And then you can also change this by go to spelling here, and then you can select from their suggestions. So they have suggested it should be tags in my case, so I will select tags here, right? But this is a software, like software name, so you can just ignore. I can say just ignore, because gedit is a software we will use in this particular case for HTML. So remember, so this is how you may correct it. Okay, so and there's another one, let's say the following application should, spelling mistake is there. When you right click it, you can say should here, right? Okay, so that's about the spell check. Let's move on to the features. So when you look at features of a spreadsheet, we need to learn the environment, right? Now, the very first thing you should notice here, the spreadsheet is named or numbered, right? Accordingly, for example, if you take columns are labeled with the English alphabet like A, B, C, D, E, and so on, right? So let me open Excel. Now, if I open Excel, you will see, I will take a blank one. So let me increase the size. So you will see that A, B, C, D, E, F, likewise, everything goes like this. How far this will go? Any ideas? How far? Yes. Yes. After C, what you will get? Yes. After C, what do you think? What will be the
A.
next? Yes. It start like AA, and then it goes on like this, right? Isn't it? It goes on like this, right? If you press Control and then the arrow key, right arrow key, it goes to the end. Remember, if you press Control and right arrow, okay, so you go to the end. In my version, it goes to XFD, so that's the last column. So when you want to come back again, you press Control and left arrow, so you should be getting the first one. So that's rows, sorry, columns. Then the rows are numbered as 1, 2, 3, and so on. How far this will go? In my machine, if I press Control and down arrow, it will go to the end, right? 1,048,576. So that's the number of rows are possible in my machine, right? Okay, so you see that. So the names. Another one I actually forgot to mention in the beginning. So you usually see the title in the Excel as book 1 Excel. So I told you in book we have sheets. So this is sheet number 1. So if you need another sheet, you can click here. You get another sheet. Now I have 2 sheets, sheet 1 and sheet 2. Let's say you need another one, sheet 3. Okay. And if you want, you can rename it as well. Now, for example, we can say this is page 1. Right. I can rename by double clicking page 2. I can again rename page 3. Depending on what exactly you want to do, you can rename. Okay. So that's about the basic environment. So let's go back again to this. Now, apart from columns and rows, right? So we need to look at cell, right? We need to look at cell. Now, when you click it, you see this cell is highlighted. There's outline. So we have C here, we have 4 here. So we know that if you look at the name box, this is called a name box. So you see that the cell is named as C4. Remember, always it should be column and then row, not 4C. You cannot have number in front. So it should be C4. So this is one cell, right? So I will give you 3 cells, each and every one of you. So let's say, can you tell me, Dhananji, what is this cell is?
G3.
Yes, it's G3. Netmi, what is this cell?
C7.
C7. Seniru, what is this cell?
G10,
No.
E10,
No.
11.
11. So it should be 11. Right, that is single cells. Now you can have cell ranges. Now, for example, I can select these 3 cells. Right? This is what we call cell range. Right? So when you want to name a cell range, so it will be different. Right? So let's say if you want to select this, let's say there's a cell range. Let me draw. I'm going to select these 3 cells. I'm going to select this one. These are cell ranges. It's not just single cell. You have multiple cells together. Right? Now, when you want to name this cell, so let me say name it. So for example, here we can say the starting value is A2. So I can say this is, that A2, comma B2, comma C2. Right? In short, I can say if I want, only state the first one and the last one, I can say this is A2 to C2. Yes, I can name like that. Okay, so another 3 questions for Dhananji. Can you tell me? So this is Dhananji. So I'll put D here. This is Dhananji's question. And this is Netmi's one. We'll put in. And this is Seniru's one. I will put S. Right, Dhananji, can you tell me the cell range for your one? I have marked a place range for you. So how do you call this? Range, cell range.
E3 to F3.
Yes, we can either use E3, comma F3, or you can say E3 to F3. Right. So that's Dhananji's one. Let me, can you tell me the cell range given for you?
C7
Okay.
and D7 and
Mm.
E7 and F7.
Okay. How do you put it a shortest form?
C7 and E7.
Okay. So we start with C7 and then we have D7, then we have E7 and we have F7, right? In short, we can state only the start and the end. We can say it goes from C7 to F7. So when we speak, talk about this, we can say this is C7, D7, E7 and F7. Now, and this one is, we can say C7 to F7, right? So we use colon to denote that it's the range. So you have to start with the first cell and then you go after the last cell. Okay, Seniru, now it's your turn. Now can you tell me the range of cells in your case?
F10, G10 and H10.
F10, G10 and H10. Okay, shortest form?
F10 to H10.
We can say F10 to H10. So this is not that difficult, isn't it? Right, good. Okay, so that's about selecting ranges. Now the range can be other way around as well. Now, so this time I'm going to select this range. So I will go to select this one. So let me put, this is Dhananji's one, this is Netmi's one, and this is Tenhiru's one, right? So you can have ranges like this. This is vertically spreads, right? So in this particular case, in my case, the range is A1, A2, A3. In simply, I can say it goes from A1 to A3, right? Dhananji. Okay, can you tell me your range?
C3, C4 and C5.
Okay, and short form?
C3 to C5.
C3 to C5. Okay. How about NetMe?
E6 and E7.
Okay. E6 and E7. In shorter form, we can say E6 to E7. Okay. Senhiru.
G3, G4, G5, G6, G7, G8, G9, and G10.
Okay, so now you see, when you have a large number of cells, putting it separate is kind of difficult. We can easily say the shorter form. Yes, what is the shorter form?
G3 to G10.
G3 to, we can say G10. So this is the easiest one. Okay, good. I think, yeah, I hope you already know these things, but I have to make sure that you know this, right? So let me take ranges now. Right now, this time I'm going to select, this is one of the ranges, another range, right? Another range, another range. Right, so this is for Dhananji and Netmi, and this is for Senhiro, and this is my one. So can you tell me, we'll go for shorter form now, right? In my one, I start with as B2, C2, then B3, C3, right? So we have to say, if I put start, this is B2, then C2, then B3, 2. So in this part, we are going to look at the ranges, cell ranges. So in my case, so I can start saying that B2, B3, and then C2 and C3. So we can see that it goes from in shorter form B2 to C3. That's how we could write that image is start and the end. So we can see it's B2 to C3. Right now, Dhananji, can you tell me the range in your case in shorter form?
F3 to H4.
F3 to H4. Good. Let me.
C7 to E.
C7 or
C8
8?
to
C8 to
C8. C8 to E9.
E9. Good. So you have to go from C8 to E9. Okay, Senhiro.
G6 to H11.
H11. Good. Okay, so that's why. Right, now I will give a small exercise. I will give you some cells and cell ranges, and I need you to send the answers in the chat, right? Okay, so let me clear everything. So here is the first one. This is one. This is two. This is three. This is four. This is five. I will put 5 here as well because that's the range, right? Can you quickly type your answers in the chat? I think time is enough. Let's discuss the answer. First one. Yeah, it's a single cell, and that's B2, right? The first one, it's B2. I got the correct answers from NetMe, but NetMe don't put colon in between B2. When you say B2, that's all. There's nothing in between. Right. So there's no colon here. Colon is used whenever you want to express multiple cells. Second one, then we know that this goes from E1, E2, F2, G2, H2, I2. That means in short, we can say this goes from E2 to I2. E2 to I2. Good. So I got the correct answer from Dhananji, right? Senhiru, as well as Netmiso. Then next, the third one. Third one, we know that it's A5, A6, A7, A8. So we can say A5 to A8. So that's the third one. A5 to A8, let me good. Dhananji, remember when you say A5 to A8, it's not semicolon. You have to put a colon, right? Notation is very, very important. You won't get marks. So it should be A5 to A8. Right. Okay, fourth one, we have C6, the starting point, and end with E11, right? So we can say the range is C6 to E11. C6 to E11. Right. Last one. Okay, now I have seen you have difficulties, but because of that, I will start from the beginning. So how should we put? So we have G4, we have G4, then H4, then G5, H5, and G6, and H6. So that's the first range. The second one is I7. So we can say I7. This is how individually we put. Now we know that we can put these 6 into a range because we can shorten form, we already know. So we can say it's G4 to H6, comma I7. So this is how you may select a complex area like this. So we can, in short, we can say it goes from G4 to H6, right? G4 to H6, and then we can say it's I7. Understood? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one then. Now we have discussed how to put ranges. Right, now if you go back to the screen again, now we can see name box we have discussed, column discussed, rows discussed, cell already discussed, cell range also discussed. What is left is formula bar. You have to use this part. Okay. Then cell formatting tools. That's the very first one. Okay. So let me take. Okay. So Excel one, I will open it again. So in this particular case, this is what gives cell formatting tool. Cell formatting tools is this one. So what can you see? Let's say we type something, right? Let me copy paste this. Okay. So we know from here, this is normal one. This is bold one. This is italics one. So this is bold and italic. This is colored one. Sorry, cell color. You fill the cell. Text color, is it here, right? So you can, depend on your requirement, you can change this. Right. And the next one, if you want, you can put a border output outside the borders. Now you see that this is selected. So you can also use underline, right? So these are basic formatting techniques. And if you want to change the characters, you can select, right? For example, right, what else we have? So background, we talk about italics, we talk about bold, okay, font, and then what we have on the size of the font and border, right? Yes, we change the font. What is we left? Borders, we can save size. Borders and sizes we can put. Border we have already done. So from here, you can go to borders. Borders. And then we can put this, and then we can increase the size. Right. So likewise, you can use those. Right. Next one. Right. Alignment and positioning. Right. So again, remember this is Excel. So we can use selection. For example, left align. So let me increase the size a bit more. So this is, if I start from here, this is left align. This is center line. This is right align. So that's there. And then text direction, we can use angle. Then we can use anti-clockwise. Then we can use rotate up. And then we can use rotate down. Right. So that's how the alignment works. Okay. So the next one, you can merge and center. Okay. Always you can combine two or more cells together. Right. So you can go for, yes, merge and cell. So I'm going to select all 3 lines, then we will say merge and link. So this will actually remove any content in other one. The first cell one, we make it to 1. Merging. Then vertical. Vertical. So vertically we can align. So this is bottom, and this is mid one, and this is top one, right? So this is how we make, work with the cells. We can format the way we want.
Excuse me, sir.
Yep.
Sir, can you explain again that major and center?
This one.
Yes,
Which
sir.
one? This one. This part.
Major and center.
Merge and it's merge, right? Merge and center. So merging means you combine the cell. So if you have, like, let's say now here one, this is 2 cells, right? If I want to combine, I can select these 2 cells, click on merge and center. It will become a single cell now. Likewise, let me select these 3 cells. If I say merge and center, now this becomes a single cell. So merging means you combine cells together, right? So another thing you have to remember, if you have 2, let's say, cells, and if you merge, what will happen? Now we have 2 values, but if you merge it, what will happen? It will remain only the character in your left hand side, right? So that's A. When I merge it, B is gone, and A will merge with this cell. So this is what I actually explained there, right? So merge will happen, and whatever you have in the first cell, you can see once you merge it. Okay, good that you asked that question, right? So let me go back again. I think now I have demonstrated left align, middle align, and then also right align, then top align, middle align, and bottom align, right? Wrap text I didn't explain, I will explain. And then we have, orientation, the direction change, and this is merge and center. Let me explain this one, wrap text, right? Wrap text means, now let's type like this. I'm going to try to type something which will not fit to this cell. Right? Now, what will happen if you type something here? You can't say what is remaining, right? So because it hides because the size is not enough, right? But what you could do is you can go to wrap text. If you click this button, wrap text, so it will fit into this one. So like this, right? When you say wrap text, it will fix, adjust to the equivalent width and changes it, right? So this is how we may use wrap text. Any questions from up to this far? And if you're not clear what I have done, I think you better ask me. Is it everything clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks then. Okay, I think now we discussed the ranges, we discussed the basic formatting. Right. So now we can go back here. Right. Now this one, it's very, very important. Why I said very, very important, this about the number tools. We are trying to perform calculations, which means we have to have a good understanding what exactly we want here, right? So the whatever the value that you have presented, it could be a number, it could be a currency, it could be accounting, It could be short date, and then we have long date, time, percentage, fraction, and scientific. So these are different ones, right? And then we have currencies, percentages, increase and decrease. So let me explain those. Now I'll go back to my sheet. This time I will go to page 2 or sheet 2 to explain this. Now let me type some numbers. Right, so this is the number that I'm going to have, and then I will copy, right? Now, depend on the cell, you can change the format. You can form it as a dollar. If you just put it like this, it'll be a dollar, right? And if you go here, more accounting forms, let's say the symbol, what do we have? We have Sri Lanka rupees. If I just check there, let me check rupees. Sri Lanka. Okay, it says Tamil, but anyway, Sri Lanka rupees. You can format as rupees. You see, that's about the dollar form. Percentages, just you can form it as percentage. You know that when you say 123%.46 means you divide by you divide by 100 and then multiply by 100. And then you can put comma style. I don't think you will see anything here, but for the command style, you have to have a very large number. Let me say I have like, right? If I put it like this, if I put a comma, okay, unfortunately, yeah. So you can format with commas like this, right? I hope you understand these three. Now, the number of decimal places you can change from here. So if I click it, so this side, what will happen? It will fill up with zeros. The number of decimal places increases. So you get this to say that you don't have enough, places to show the number. So then if you keep on reducing this, see what will happen. It'll actually, yes, round it off, right? Okay. So you can decide on how many, decimal places you want to retain. So that's possible. So right now we discuss the numbers, then there are different formats. You can make it a number if you want. So it's number. Let me take the second one. Let me take it as currency. Third one, let me take it as accounting, right? Then let me take it as a short date, right? The number is converted to a date. So that's what has happened. We can have long date. Again, not enough space. And then the time, then percentage, fraction, okay. So I hope you got a good understanding what exactly we will have. Let me check here. So fraction, that what we test, scientific notation. You know what this means. Now, if you have some number like this, let me take, yes, 123. If you want to put it in scientific notation, we know that we put decimal point here, 1.23 into 10 to the power 2. Now, similarly, what this represent means to same thing. So instead of this, we can write in computer, we will put it like 1.23 e plus 0.2. So this is to say that this is the initial value. This is 10 to the power 2. So this is exactly what we see here. Right. The next one, next one. So that formats I think we already discussed, right? Now then there are any others as well. So let me go to the next one. Any others? Like text. When you say a text, it will no longer number text aligned to left hand side. So that's what we have already discussed this side here. Right. Before switch to the other, any other questions? Do you have any questions from what I have covered so far? Or is it clear? Okay. The next one. Right. So perform calculations. Now, to perform calculations, we can make use of different symbols. Right now, if I go back to Excel, so let me go to the page 3. Now, so far we have cells. You can type anything. You can type a text. You can type a number. Everything is there. Right. So in this particular case, we are going to look at multiplying two numbers. So simply you can use it as a calculator. You can put 2 into 3. This is how you will be managing 3. 2 into 3. So it says 6. Right. Okay. Then we can perform addition, subtraction like in earlier. So we can say 2 plus 3 and then 2 minus 3, right? We can say 2 divided by 3. So you can go on like this, right? So that's the easiest way of putting up a calculation. Okay. So that's multiplication and division. Now, let me explain you use of variables, right? So let me take AB. I'm going to put AB, and I'm going to put set of values. So let me say 20, 15, 16, 55, 42, and so on, right? So if you want to add the numbers, we can say O equal 10 plus 20. Now the problem with this is you are referring the numbers, and whenever something changes, it will not affect the answer. It's just 10, 11, 20, sorry, 10, 20. So what you should do is, instead of putting like this, we can say equal 10 is in C3 plus C2 and then B2, right? So we have not C3 and then D3, C3, D3. So should be C3 and D3 performs addition. So beauty of this is if you change this, you see it is automatically changes. Right? So you can copy paste if you want to get the same answer. Simply these two adds. So here we will say these two adds, these two adds. Yes. Subtraction. Similarly, we can say first one is C3. Yes, and then it's not C, it's subtraction. So when we A3, C3, this is subtract. We have C3 divide by D3. Yes. So likewise, if we copy paste to the other cells, we are getting something like this. So you can try with other operators. That means we can use multiplication and division. Okay. So with that one, I would like to finish for today. Please go through the note again and also try out all these, activities I have showed you. Try to complete them. And then next week, hopefully we will finish the rest and we can go for questions, right? So that's all we need to cover for this topic, right? Having said that, let me stop for today. We'll be meeting again next Saturday. Okay, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, sir.